Hey, what's up you guys? This is Rob from A Gay Guy Plays, and today I'm going to give you the rundown on the most self-destructive sentinel, Helios. Now, for those of you who aren't aware, Helios is the first quote-unquote melee sentinel. It literally deconstructs itself and hurls its parts at nearby enemies. It also comes preloaded with a precept that allows it to scan enemies and add their entries to your codex. Helios is the second clan tech sentinel. Its blueprints can be found in the Corpus Energy Labs in your dojo, provided that you've already completed the appropriate research. You can also pick it up pre-built with a reactor for 75 plat. Or, if you like to be fancy, you can also pick it up in the Ictus Sentinel pack along with the new Ictus Sentinel accessories for 100 plat. Now let's take a look at its abilities. Its unique precept is Investigate. It periodically scans random enemy units, objects, and really anything you can scan that's within its range. However, it does require you to have codex scanning charges available in your inventory, so be sure to have it equipped before you head out for a scanning mission. Now personally I don't mind this ability due to the fact that I'm a lazy ass and haven't gone through too much trouble to scan things unless I need them for videos. Now my major issue with this precept is the fact that Helios scans whatever he wants, whenever he feels like, and you have absolutely no control whatsoever. So if you're just going on autopilot during a mission, you may not get anything of value to add to your codex. And for those of you who have already done your due diligence and been scanning this whole time, to be honest, there's very little that Helios can provide that other sentinels can't already do. Its second precept is Targeting Receptor and is the basic fire at the first enemy in sight mod. This is definitely something that you want to level up quick due to the initial short targeting range of the Deconstructor's quote-unquote melee attacks. At max rank it seems to target foes right at about mid-range. Now here's where things get kind of interesting. Helios' default weapon is the Deconstructor. At the moment, unlike other sentinel weapons, it's exclusive to Helios. It allows Helios to fling its parts at nearby enemies, which ricochet glaive style, bouncing around the room before returning to our little ball of rage. Not that robots can actually feel rage, unless of course we program them to do it, but that's neither here nor there. The coolest part of this weapon is the fact that Helios can toss out all three of its segments in a fairly quick succession. Now, for one reason or another, it doesn't do it all the time, even when the situation calls for it. In fact, I'm starting to think that Helios is a little bit more emotional than I gave it credit for. Well, I must say that the Deconstructor is probably one of my favorite sentinel weapons. It currently does have a couple bugs. Now if you're watching this a couple months down the line from its release, I probably tossed a couple of annotations on this saying whether these got fixed or not, but in my timeline, it's pretty fresh. So first and foremost, targeting is weird. Helios is amazing at pulling off some pretty savage headshots and is probably better with the Deconstructor than I am with the glaive. But there seems to be an issue with targeting MOAs. Helios consistently flings himself right above the MOA's head, missing the MOA completely. It seems to have a better chance of hitting the MOA with a ricochet than it does when it's targeting it directly. It also seems to have that same issue when targeting enemies that are crouched. It looks like it aims for where their heads should be while they're standing, rather than where their heads currently are. Next on the weird train is that the Deconstructor is not affected by base damage increasing melee mods. So at the moment of recording, Pressure Point and Spoiled Strike have absolutely no effect. Charge damage mods don't seem to increase the base damage either. The only thing you can do is use Heavy Impact to increase the amount of impact damage the weapon does, which sadly does not count at increasing the weapon's base damage, thus does not increase the elemental damage that the Deconstructor can put out. However, you can equip your favorite glaive modifiers such as Whirlwind and Rebound to customize each segment's flight patterns. So I guess that's kind of a plus, right? And in addition, the Deconstructor is listed to only have impact damage. However, I have noted on several occasions that it has dealt the slashing damage proc. So yeah, this thing is about due for a patch, right? All in all, while I am a big fan of its art assets, and I do love the way that each segment flies out, leaving only what amounts to a floating eyeball as your constant companion, I do have to say that at the moment, this isn't something that anyone absolutely needs to have. While its scanning capabilities will help me become even lazier in my codex updating, this definitely isn't replacing my carrier anytime soon. I think the thing that I'm the saddest about is not being able to equip the Deconstructor on my Jinn and watch it fling its infested little chicken wings at nearby enemies. So thank you all for watching another episode of The Rundown. Be sure to do the thing that I ask you to do at the end of every one of these, and as always, stay tuned for more highly emotional robotic content here at A Gay Guy Plays.
Security.
Ah, that's right. Helios 2, Bombard Zip.